Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome inside Tarble Pavilion, the home of the Swarthmore College Garnet, as they take on Arcadia University in an on-conference matchup here on the Sunday following Thanksgiving. A break for everybody, and now back to hoops action for the final few weeks of the semester. And Jacob, it's still the number one team in the country, still yet to be beaten at this point. They've certainly had some early tests in Arcadia, a very tough team locally here, 4-2 thus far, but a talented team that should provide another challenge here today.
Yeah, this is for sure going to be another tough battle for the Garnet, a team that made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament last year before losing to Marietta, also the MAC Commonwealth tournament champions last season. This was a fun matchup to see last season. That was played at Arcadia, a 5-point loss for the Knights, and they come into this game on the back of a couple of double-digit losses, looking to rebound from that. Daquan Davis, the big guy, scoring 25 points a game, playing every minute. He's going to be the guy to look out for Arcadia.
We're going to send it down to the public address announcer, Brandon Hodnett, for the introductions and the national anthem.
And at this time, we'll be presenting our national anthem. First, for the visiting Knights, the senior guard from Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, number 0, Steve Pendleton. A junior guard from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, number 1, Daquan Davis. A junior forward from Hockenson, Delaware, number 10, Jacob Walsh. A senior forward from Willingboro, Pennsylvania, number 14, Will Dare. A freshman forward from Wilmington, Delaware, number 15, Justin Money. The Knights are coached by Adam Van Zelt. He's assisted by Omar Wells, Thomas Shepard, Charles Brown, and Phil Pierfield. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Swarthmore Garnet. A junior guard from Charlottesville, Virginia, number 14, Ryan Ingram. A sophomore guard from Clark, New Jersey, number 24,
And there are the starters. We're about ready for basketball here at Charble Pavilion. Arcadia in the road maroon uniforms with the black trim and the gray lettering. Swarthmore in the home whites. And Arcadia out there ready to go. Swarthmore still in the huddle. So, Jacob, how would you break down how the season has begun thus far here for Swarthmore? An interesting mix of non-conference games, but also a conference test just last Tuesday against Washington College.
It's definitely been an entertaining start to the season for the Garnet, that's for sure. They've been tested a couple of times now. TCNJ coming in, and then Washington, of course, in the opening of conference play, proving to be a quite tough opponent. They led the Garnet by 8 at the half, but truly what sets apart the good teams from the great teams is their ability to deal with adversity. The Garnet were able to do that in that game, a 20-point swing in the second half as they held on to win 68-56, and they've consistently done that throughout the season. When a team is competitive with them, they just turn it on, find a new level, especially in the second half, and take control of games.
Plus 20, as you mentioned, in the second half, plus 26 all the way from a deficit in the double digits in the mid stages of that first half. So they come in on a roll, playing a tremendous second half against Washington College, now take on a tough Arcadia team, and that one's going to fall right off the bat for Will Durr, the senior forward out of Upper Dublin High School. So a local test here for both Arcadia, as it's Durr playing for this Arcadia team, but also comes from right down the street. George Visconti, a good back cut, and the back screen came from Nate Schaefer.
It's great vision by Odell there. Visconti surrounded by 3 defenders, has to put that pass right on the money, and he does.
We're looking for Daquan Davis here today, a guy who plays just about every minute of every game, over 38 minutes played per game. So that one's knocked out of bounds by Schaefer. Davis puts up 25 points per game.
He was already a first-team All-Region selection last year, has really stepped his game up this season. The one seeming blemish on his record, 37 turnovers, now 98 for the team as a whole, as compared to the Garnet 61 as a team, as they turn it over right there. So could be a question of who turns the ball over the most that could decide this one.
That was Davis on the inbound. It hit the hands of Will Durr, didn't catch it strong enough, and it went off his knee and out of bounds. Now inside, they're going to go to Nate Schaefer. Spins inside and hits it. Gets all the way across the lane with just one power dribble, and it's 4-2 Garnet. Full court pressure. The Garnet do this quite often here early on in the season, and a foul called against Nate Schaefer. Looks like he had ball, but perhaps body contact is the reason for that foul call. 2 shots coming at the line.
It was a nice job by Arcadia, find the open man in Justin Money to get out of that full court look. And then up ahead, Jacob Walsh has a lot of space to work and able to draw the contact from Schaefer.
Walsh, a junior big man, hits the first. Now 12 of 14 from the charity stripe on the early season. Walsh hits both, 4 apiece. Justin Money provides some backcourt pressure, and Ingram now gets into the offense. Visconti pops behind her screen. He'll drive to the hole. Off the glass, no. Weak side rebound, Schaefer, and a finish. And he drew that second defender, Jacob Will Durr, based on that dribble drive, provided the pressure, and Nate Schaefer alone on the backside. Walsh has it now. Money on the baseline. 9 to shoot. Steve Pendleton has it. Pulls up and hits it. Rise and fire from Pendleton, the senior.
It's a good defensive possession for the Garnet right there. Pendleton, though, having a great season for himself, scoring around 16 a game. It's a tough shot that long range 2 look, but hits it.
That one went down on the scoreboard for Swarthmore immediately, but now that is the correct score. 6-6 as Odell can't finish with the offhand. Daquan Davis of Roman Catholic High School was a tremendous player. Finds money, that one's no good. Davis played on the same team with Lamar Stevens, Tony Carr, and Nazir Bostic, all of which went to Penn State to play their basketball, but he brings that pedigree with him here to Arcadia and has had a great few years. 11 on the shot clock. Here comes Shaw, pulling up, tough shot there and hits it. Good bucket there for Shaw, lets the first defender fly by and rises up over the secondary defender.
Again, it's good defense being played there, forcing Swarthmore into a tough shot, but it's great shot making from both teams to start off this game.
Looking for a back cut. Here's Davis with it, guarded by the larger Odell, splitting through to the hoop, and a huge block from Colin Shaw. Takes it right off the hands of Will Durr.
That's called just not giving up on a play. Durr looked like he had a completely open look, and Shaw flying in to block that.
Durr gets the rebound on the other end. Out on the break comes Arcadia. And another block, this time from Zach Odell. It'll stay here with Arcadia. And for the 5, Swarthmore Garnet will come off the floor. One substitution for Arcadia. It's Jalen Watkins in for Durr. Well, we say it all the time, Jacob. It's a race for the blocks title here between Nate Schaefer and Zach Odell. It's been that way for the last 3 years. Appears to be no different this time around. Money with the travel, but that's the 12th block of the season for Zach Odell. Just one behind Nate Schaefer with 13.
I feel like they must egg each other on, have competitions, talk about in the locker room who's going to get the most blocks between each game.
Michael Caprice checked in, as does Vinny D'Angelo, as Harkins rises, can't hit. Good rebound there by Caprice. He gets it right back from Shaw. Drives at his defender, spins, and gets it to go. Michael Caprice, count it, and one.
Don't see that kind of a post move from a freshman very often. He just showed experience right there, sealing his defender on his outside hip and drawing the contact as he finishes high.
George Visconti checks in for Colin Shaw, who's played great minutes early on for the Garnet. Caprice now 5 of 8 from the charity stripe on the young season. Sets up the full court pressure double, and Money has it. Daquan Davis. Man-to-man look here for the Garnet. Splitting to the hole. What a catch inside. Caprice gets the block this time on Jalen Watkins' attempt. And a good steal there. Here's Davis. Davis to the hoop. Thought he was fouled. There's no call. Caprice somehow stays in bounds, and we go end-to-end here at Tarbell. D'Angelo rises, got his own rebound, and knocked away by Steve Pendleton. Time to take a breath.
But you saw there Davis running in transition. What he tried to do was just go into Tucker. Tucker playing smart there, staying right in the path that he was going and getting past Davis before the contact occurred.
So 19 now on the shot clock. Visconti turns and squares. Shooter's roll for George Visconti. 13-6 Garnet lead.
That's his spot right there. He lives in that foul line extended type of mid-range territory, and very efficient from that range.
Can't finish inside. One more time. That one won't go either. Watkins, everything but the finish. There's a lot of contact down there as well, and they're letting him play here this afternoon. Now Harkins turns, looking for a cutter. They'll work it around with 14 on the shot clock. Arcadia and a man-to-man look. Here's D'Angelo. D'Angelo knifes his way into the lane. Great finish off the glass.
That's impressive play from another freshman right there. We saw the poise from Capri's earlier in the post that time. An even better job from D'Angelo with strength to the paint.
Good ball movement down the floor by Arcadia. Beats the pressure down the floor. And this time, Jalen Watkins was fouled. It was by Connor Harkins, and he'll shoot 2 at the line. Watkins gets to the line quite often. The first man off the bench here for Arcadia has been to the stripe for 22 attempts. He's made 14 of them. Good for 64% from the line. Good on the first. The Knights of Arcadia University, coached in the first season of Adam Van Zelst's tenure. This is a program that has had success locally in recent years, always puts a good program on the floor, and you see a lot of the guys on this team were stars in high school. Steve Pendleton from Lower Merion, as mentioned, Daquan Davis from Roman Catholic High School. One of 2 that time for Watkins, who comes here from Mastery Charter in Philadelphia. Schaefer has it at the elbow. They'll work it and get it back inside. Great defensive play, but he ran away from it. Watkins got the initial touch and forced Davis to go into his own bench without anybody to throw it to. 13 minutes, 9 seconds to play here in the first half. Garnet lead 15-7 in a crisper start here today.
Defense playing a big part of it so far. The turnover game already is starting to come into effect. 4 for Arcadia, only the 1 for the Garnet, and the Garnet turning it into 7 points so far. That's basically the difference here.
Referees are over at the scorer's table discussing something with the timekeeper, and I think what it's going to be is the fact that that shot clock should not have reset to 30. There was never possession by Arcadia. So now it's anybody's guess as to how much time there was left. Nine seconds remain on the shot clock for Swarthmore. So they'll throw it in from a very difficult spot. You almost have a third defender there with the sideline. They don't have anybody guarding the inbound, which is quite surprising, and it'll stay here with the Garnet. Perhaps an easier spot to inbound from. Ingram now underneath the offensive basket. A second did not come off that shot clock. And they'll go inside for Nate Schaefer. Skip pass for Ingram. He's open. Bang. Great pass out of the post from Nate Schaefer.
That's an absolutely beautiful look there. The inside-out passing game has always been key for this Garnet offense, and Schaefer showing the value of it right there.
Good hands in the passing lane. Trailing the play with Zach Odell. Davis thought he had Odell beaten. And a weak side target, Durr. But Will Durr now will set a screen looking to get it in bounds. They do. But Patel traveled with it. Keyshawn Patel, the senior guard from North Brunswick, New Jersey, turns it right back over to the Garnet.
Davis, a quiet game so far, held without a field goal attempt so far. He's been marked quite tightly by George Visconti and Vinny D'Angelo throughout this one, and they've been effective at shutting him down.
Pendleton will pick it up. He'll get to the basket. Huge block there, and what a follow from Daquan Davis. Good basketball on both sides. Visconti with the block, Davis with the finish.
And again, it's all about not giving up on the play there. Sometimes you're content just to let your guy in Pendleton go for that layup. You assume he makes up, but Davis running the floor the whole time and coming in huge for the finish.
Great defense there by Durr. What an offensive rebound. Shot clock doesn't reset. And over the back is called against Nate Schaefer. Durr went up, straight up, and made that a very difficult shot, Jacob, for Schaefer. And from there, Swarthmore in scramble mode with the shot clock winding down.
I don't know if they're going to call that a shot attempt or perhaps give him the benefit of the doubt and a pass to Odell.
It depends who's keeping score, Jacob. But it'll go down as an offensive carom for Zach Odell. A foul against Nate Schaefer. And it's a 9-point lead for Swarthmore as Davis is guarded by Tucker. Mismatch here. Davis to the hole, puts it up and is fouled. Drove it right into contact, seeking that contact, and he'll shoot two.
This is a guy who averages just under 11 shots from the foul line a game and just going right into that contact. Lives to live amongst the trees. Undersized guy, only 6'1", but plays larger than his height.
Let's say that again. 11 foul shot attempts per game. This guy has a nose for contact and loves to get to the line. And by the way, in those 11 foul shots per game, 83% from the line. A high percentage guy from 15 feet away. Hits both there. And while the offense has not been exquisite here for Arcadia, they've slowed down the Garnet offense just enough, and Tucker opens the cap once again from deep.
Just catches his defender sagging off there as they're afraid of that D'Angelo drive. Instead, just a couple steps, immediately kicks it out to Tucker. Easy three for him.
That is his spot, Jacob. There's no doubt about that. Davis inside. He gets fouled again, and he's attacking the big men for the Garnet. He loves that mismatch, and it's a foul against Zach Odell. Fifth team foul against the Garnet, and the second against Odell.
Not quite sure who was guarding him out on the perimeter there, but if you're playing defense on him, I think you've got to be content to leave him a little space. If he wants to go up for a contested three-pointer, he can do it, but I think you're more afraid of that drive right into the heart of the Garnet defense and his ability to draw contact than you are of the long-range jumper.
Daquan Davis hits both from the line. 21-13, the home Garnet lead by 8. D'Angelo, good kick out, baseline, got it. Connor Harkins. D'Angelo, such a tremendous job off the dribble to collapse that defender off the ball and give that look to a pure three-point shooter. Davis off the screen. Here's a drive by Patel. Baseline. That three is good. Jacob Walsh, the junior. When you have a big man that can pick and pop like that, get to a spot, that is impressive. As well as Caprice over the left shoulder. Timeout called by Arcadia. Garnet with a 10-point lead here at home.
And Caprice showing the poise, the maturity, and the strength there of a man older than, I guess, 18 or 19 that he is, just going up strong. Once again, sealing his defender away from his body, and an easy finish.
The Garnet already playing their 4th home game of the year, 5-0 overall. They already have that one win in conference that we discussed. A Tuesday evening game against Washington College last Tuesday, I should say, that they came out with a nice victory by the time it was all said and done, but experienced a test. And I think as the number one team in the country and all the accolades that come along with that's a good game to play early on in the season, to shoulder some early adversity and respond the way a championship-type team would.
I think it was a very underrated Washington team that came in. We expected them after being making the conference tournament last year, might still not quite be getting the respect that they deserved, and they showed why. We expect them to be a competitive team in the Centennial Conference this season. Shut down the Garnet in the first half especially. Not quite so much happening today.
There's a little push-off, wasn't called. Too strong on that shot from Pendleton. Harkins, he'll try it from the other corner. That's no good. Over the top against Justin Tucker, and this is becoming a bit of a storyline here. Yes, leading by 10, but only halfway through the first half, Jacob. Another foul by one of the bigs of the Garnet. 6 on the team, first on Tucker. Remember, sitting on the bench with 2 is Zach Odell. Nate Schaefer sits on the bench with 1 foul, also through 10 minutes. Davis drives on the big man, Caprice, and beat him. Just one quick step off the initial dribble, and Davis had him beat.
Fantastic job just to get around the edge. Such an athletic guy. Davis is. Caprice, pretty athletic as well, but just can't keep up with the speed there.
And you notice, I mean, it's a carbon cut every time. As Tucker, he drives to the basket. That one was blocked initially by Walsh, out of bounds, last touch by Caprice. But every time they can run a high ball screen and get Davis on one of the bigs for the Garnet. It is full speed ahead. Van Zels tells the team to get out of the way, run some ISO, and trust their quick guard off the dribble against the Garnet big. This time it's Caprice guarding Davis right out of the backcourt. They switch sides now. Pendleton, this is money. Will Durr waits for the traffic to subside, goes up, and doesn't drop. Good box there by Caprice. No numbers for the Garnet. Taken away from Visconti. Here's Davis. Glides in for 2, and it's a 6-point game.
He's starting to come alive here. 7 points now for Davis after opening up the first 7 without a point or a field goal. And you saw in the last possession, Caprice really learning his lesson, giving up the pull-up if Davis wants to take it. Only a 26% shooter from beyond the arc, so we'll see if they continue to do that consistently. Just give up those pull-up shots if he wants to take them and really try to cheat hard for the drive.
Nickel dimer called against Justin Money on the reach. Good ball control there by D'Angelo, who now takes a seat. Ryan Ingram comes out and runs the point. Abbas Salah continues to be out for the Garnet. Don't know exactly when his return will be, but he'll be a welcome sight back to add an additional ball handler for this team. Another nickel dimer, this time on the reach. It's Davis. Third team foul, first on Daquan Davis.
Foul on Arcadia number 1, Daquan Davis, his first, team third.
Ingram will inbound for the Garnet. Visconti bumped, rises, might have gotten a piece of it, Pendleton. And Davis comes back the other way. They can cut it to 1 possession. Great look inside for Durr. Durr got ahead of himself there, out of control as he went for the power dribble. And Shaw to the hoop. He rejected by Walsh. Jacob Walsh goes up high to get that one. Shaw back behind the play and able to get back into it. Daquan Davis, not even close. An NBA range three, and he points to the chest on his way back, knowing that was not the most high percentage look I could have gotten.
And they played that smart that time. Instead of allowing the switch to occur, having Schaefer come over on Davis, they had Ingram stay on Davis, avoided that switch to the big man.
Tucker has it now, guarded by Jacob Walsh. He's been a thorn on the side defensively. In there again, comes up with the basketball. Great defense from Walsh. Patel drops it back. Walsh wanted that three. Now they'll reset with Justin Money. Arcadia's done a nice job in the last 5 minutes or so, stymieing the Garnet offense. Cutting to the basket, and a travel called against Patel. If he could have kept that foot down, the play was developing beautifully. He drew two defenders onto the ball, Jacob, and Durr was back cutting to the hoop.
And these are the 1 or 2 minutes of the game where Davis is going to be taking a seat. So the Garnet have to take advantage of that defensively that time, forcing the turnover. And they've got to do that for the next couple minutes, see if they can extend a little bit of a lead here with Davis on the bench.
Tucker at the arc, looks inside. Good defense there by Pendleton. A lot of numbers here, dropped behind. What a finish there. Jalen Watkins, the freshman from Mastery Charter, locally here in Philadelphia.
Great job defensively by the Garnet. Tucker, I believe Capri's in the area, but just going up right through the contact, hit that shot.
Oh, you're exactly right. An incredible job of contesting without fouling. But Watkins was up to the task. Caprice, Tucker for three, silences the Arcadia crowd. Arcadia was feeling some of the momentum, and Tucker with an early dagger.
It's the benefit of having Tucker out on the floor, and when you get Odell in foul trouble, Schaefer as well taking a seat right now, Tucker's going to get his minutes.
Solid drive there by Justin Money. Had a step on Ryan Ingram, forced the foul on the chip. Foul shots the rest of the way, as that's the 7th team foul against the Garnet, and that's exactly the response you'd want if you're Adam Van Zelst for this Arcadia team after what really was a big three to stymie a bit of momentum there from Tucker. Now a chance to score with the clock stopped.
And it had been a 4-minute scoring drought for the Garnet up until that Tucker three-pointer. So perhaps opening the floodgates back up.
And Money had been Money from the line all year. He was 7 for 7 until he missed that second foul shot, 1 of 2 on that trip. 6-point lead for the Garnet. Visconti pulls up. Solid that time from the sophomore George Visconti.
Again, just driving right to a spot, rises straight up, puts a ton of arc on that ball, so it can't be blocked. Those have been happening for Arcadia so far, so does well get that over a defender.
Watkins traveled, and it goes back the other way. Just lost his footing there as he was trying to back down Nate Schaefer.
That's 7 turnovers now on Arcadia. Certainly by no means a clean game for either team. 6 for the Garnet.
The Garnet, however, spreading the wealth. Already 8 guys on the score sheet. 9 guys have hit the floor. The only one scoreless is Zach Odell. A step back for Visconti. Didn't draw any iron. And out of bounds. Shaw looking for a push in the back from Davis. That would have been his second. And has a word or two to say to the referee about that. Certainly can understand the complaint from the Garnet sophomore. Man-to-man look here. Actually more of a matchup zone as they go into a 2-3 Prongs extended out to the three-point line. Patel, he gets his man in the air, glides to the lane and is blocked by Nate Schaefer. His 14th block of the year. Harkins in rhythm, got it. Connor Harkins for three, timeout called by Arcadia, and a couple of big buckets in the last 2 minutes to extend the lead for Swarthmore.
Can't leave a guy open in transition like that, especially a guy like Connor Harkins. 2 for 3 from three-point range. He had been having some early season struggles from beyond the arc, but those don't seem to be bothering him today.
Full timeout on the floor, 4 minutes, 34 seconds to play in this first half. Excited to bring on a special guest here at halftime, Josh Verlin of City of Basketball Love. And those that you know that know basketball in this area know Josh. He is the preeminent writer here for high school D3 all the way up to the D1 level for basketball in Philadelphia. Had a short hiatus in recent years, and we are all so happy to have Josh back and doing his thing. So we're going to talk to him about everything going on at the D3 level. He has his own local top 25 here, and we're going to talk about certainly the fact that he has the Garnet at number 1, but some of the other competitors in Philadelphia throughout D3 basketball that he's taking a look at and where he sees this Garnet team going this year. That's Josh Verlin of City of Basketball Love, our guest here at half on the Garnet Sports Network. Swarthmore breaks the huddle. Arcadia basketball. With that three-pointer from Connor Harkins, Swarthmore now has its largest lead of the afternoon. Garnet right back into man-to-man. Inside they go. A block is called. Ryan Ingram was inside the restricted area. That's the call. He pointed to the ground, did the referee on the baseline. And that's what that means.
And they got the mismatch they wanted that time in Walsh, right against Ingram. And not sure what this discussion is down between Coach Kosmalski and the referee about that call.
You know, all it can really do is, or be, is that, hey, I didn't see him as being inside that restricted area, and at that point, I think it would have been a block. A few years ago, probably going back 4 or 5 years now, Jacob, there was no restricted area in college basketball. It was simply referees' discretion as to make that call if they felt it was too deep. And this took really all of that guessing game out of it. D'Angelo is blocked again by Walsh. And Jacob Walsh, the junior, is having a fantastic afternoon.
Couple of blocks now for him, a steal as well. 7 points for him, made a few trips to the line. So just coming up big on both ends of the floor, playing fantastic defense right now.
Shaw off the back screen, he's got it. Really good back screen there. D'Angelo, Visconti, and Shaw working well together.
Pendleton was in position to contest that, but Shaw just doing an even better job of going up and getting that shot off clean.
Davis, a good look to the baseline. Pendleton to answer. He rattles that one around. 37-28, a good one here from Tarbell Pavilion on a rainy, turning to sleet-filled Sunday afternoon here at Swarthmore College. Might be cold outside, but the shots are starting to heat up here in the gym. Traveling called against Michael Caprice. He'll turn it right back over to Arcadia. And really a big 3 minutes and 25 seconds here, Jacob. The Garnet got the lead as recently as 30 seconds ago, up to 12. A big three to answer from Pendleton, and now a bucket or two here, and Arcadia can be right in this at the half.
Still very much within striking distance here, and imagine we're going to see Davis start to go to work here.
A zone defensive look. Through for Walsh. Nice job to keep his dribble. Cutting is Pendleton. Adjusts in midair. No. Tip won't go from Walsh. Patel got a hand on it. Now Shaw picks it up. Really nice job by the Garnet. Shaw rises and won't get it to go. Everything but the finish. Patel on the baseline, pulls up and hits. Keyshawn Patel, really nice bucket guarded by the larger George Visconti. It's given right away on the other end. Money no good, pulled right back, and a foul is called against Vinny D'Angelo, and that is a light call. They're saying a push from the back from D'Angelo. Didn't see it, thought he just plucked it out of the air over the top of Money, but the loose ball foul will put him at the line for the front end of a 1-and-1. 9th team foul against the Garnet.
It's a chance for a pretty big swing here. Patel, that was a great move from him, just putting all his energy, his forward momentum to go straight up, get Visconti off balance. Easy shot for him, and now a chance for Money to cut this to a 5-point game.
He's missed just one foul shot on the year. This his 10th attempt on the young campaign. And Money again. Money from the line. A bit of backcourt pressure from Justin Money. Caprice at the top of the key. Steve Pendleton will be called for a foul, trying to fight around the Caprice screen. 15 on the shot clock. That'll be reset to 20. 2:05 to play in the first half. Here's D'Angelo, top of the key. Harkins pulls up from deep and hits. Nothing but net from Connor Harkins.
I mean, when that guy heats up, he really heats up. We've been waiting for a game like this out of Harkins all season, and showing signs, now 3 for 4 from beyond the arc, really showing signs of starting to cook from deep.
Davis no good from way deep, and Caprice called for the foul. Another set of foul shots coming on the loose ball foul. Caprice boxing out and discarding of Will Durr.
Again, didn't really see much in that call. Referees were pretty lax on some of the calls to start off the game, certainly, but now tightening things up on these loose ball situations.
Will Durr hits the foul shot. That's the 10th team foul, as mentioned, against Swarthmore. Arcadia has 4 team fouls. Durr well short, offensive rebound by Pendleton, and taken away by Harkins. Great play. Here's D'Angelo, readjusts in midair and hits it. Great finish using the glass.
Great job again, freshman showing poise there, readjusting in midair and just using what space is given to him.
Pendleton no good. Nice rebound by Patel, and another foul on the offensive rebound attempt from Arcadia. Swarthmore attacks the glass. This time it's Harkins undercutting Patel. Patel well long on the first. One of 2 for Keyshawn Patel. 1:05 to play here in the first half. D'Angelo, what a tough shot that is. Got his own rebound in traffic, and a foul is called. Incredible from the freshman.
Big game for D'Angelo so far, just so aggressive. The passing has looked crisp all game for him. The Garnet have been going small here with Odell sitting on 2 fouls. Hasn't appeared since, I believe, the 10th minute or so of this game. Schaefer on the bench as well. So they're going small, giving D'Angelo a lot of minutes, and he's rewarding that trust from Coach Guzmalski.
Good box out there from Davis. He glides to the hoop and is fouled by Caprice. Late contact from Caprice, as that was well out of the hands of Davis, but hit him pretty good on the follow-through. And Davis, the 11 foul shots per game. He's trying to hit that, if not go north of it here this afternoon.
That's the second foul on Caprice now, so both him and Odell sitting on 2. And the other big men for the Garnet, Tucker and Schaefer, 1 apiece.
Davis hits the first. 46.6 left on this clock. The Garnet, if they can get this ball moving towards half court before touching it, could go 2 for 1. Remember, the running clock, even after a made basket, though, is something that could thwart that, unlike the second half. But looks like the Garnet might have that in mind. Now they just need help to get it in. Caprice has it. Back for Harkins. Does he rise and fire here, or do they run the offense? Inside they go. Good catch by Caprice. Spins to his strong hand, puts it up and good.
He's been really effective in the post all game. Thought he might have shuffled his feet there, but great finish.
They never reset the shot clock. I was looking closely. It looked like maybe a half-second differential. I think you just go ahead and turn off the shot clock, given the uncertainty and the inability to go back to replay here. But the referees will talk about it. I think that ball was inbounded around 31, touched at about 30.5, and thereby you start that 30 there. If we're getting down to the 10th degree.
I mean, we do have.
Hey, look at that.
Oh, wow. All right.
How about it?
You called it, Bob.
I don't know what that gets me.
Yeah. We do technically have the capacity for instant replay down at the table, just not using it.
Yeah, I know. Got to send those referees to the table and put the big headsets on.
Yeah.
Like they do at the college football and even D1 college basketball level these days. Good to see those advancements coming through. A half-second differential between game and shot clock. Davis inside, puts it up, and hits it. Ending the half with a flourish. They wanted a foul on the Arcadia bench. But the Daquan Davis bucket cuts it to 44-38, heading to the half. Another great contest between two very good programs here at the D3 level in the greater Philadelphia area. Swarthmore leads Arcadia.
Yeah, Davis at the end of the half there, that's just a fantastic job going through contact and finishing now 4 for 6 from the field. 13 points for him as he's made 5 trips to the line. And the only misses coming on some speculative deep threes, probably from around 28 feet or so. But the Garnet, even without their big guys, Odell and Schaefer, spending most of that first half on the bench. They've gotten big minutes out of Caprice, out of D'Angelo, a couple freshmen stepping up and helping power them to this 6-point lead at the half.
Halftime here at Tarbo Pavilion. We'll take a break for about a minute or so. Come back with Josh Verlin of City of Basketball Love, our halftime guest. Bob Long on play-by-play, Jacob Brady on color commentary. This is Swarthmore men's basketball here on the Garnet Sports Network, and the number 1 team in the country takes a 6-point lead into the break. And welcome into our humble abode, the broadcast booth here at Tarble Pavilion. Bob Long, and our special guest is Josh Verlin, City of Basketball love and a Philadelphia basketball legend. It's wonderful to have you on, my friend.
Thanks, Bob. I don't know if I'd go as far as legend. I just turned 31 this year.
Well, I know you wouldn't.
There's some real legends in this city. I don't want to take away from their thunder.
And that's fair. I knew you wouldn't say it. That's why I decided to for you.
I appreciate it.
It is great to have you back.
Thank you.
Doing
Thank
your
you.
work with City of Basketball love. And what you do, Josh, is essentially everything from the D1 level all the way down to high school. That's where we first met, through the high school ranks, LaSalle High School, Philadelphia Catholic League.
Yep.
What is it about basketball that connects with you so much? And what is it that you love so much about specifically amateur basketball in the Philadelphia area?
I mean, I've always loved all sports. I do have a long-running connection to basketball. My dad was a basketball player back in high school, and he got me into the sport when I was a kid. And unfortunately, when you're like 3'5", when you're in middle school, or I was like literally 5 foot tall as a freshman in high school. So basketball wasn't my sport to play, but I always loved the sport. I grew up on Allen Iverson and Aaron McKee and those Sixers, and then obviously the Villanova teams, the St. Joe's teams, the Temple teams of the late 90s, early 2000s. And then when I graduated college, or graduated high school and started going into college, and really just fell in love with college hoops and the atmosphere and the sense of community that it brought, when I came back to Philadelphia and transferred back to Temple and realized what basketball means to this city, it really just sort of spurred my interest in starting City of Basketball love. And since then, really, I've just learned so much about this city, its love for basketball, its connection to the sport, and it's really only furthered my love for the game, for sure.
Well, that's great. And I need to ask you about this team here, because what we have is the #1 team in the country here in the Delaware Valley. How unbelievable is that? And we'll take a look at some of the stats that got us here. Thank you very much, Matt Judge, helping us out here today. But the #1 team in the country has been tested a few times here early in the season, and I think that's a testament to the type of schedule they're putting in place. You've followed this program, especially over the last few years. What have you seen as to what's brought this program to this point here today?
I mean, it's just been an incredible job done by Landry Kosmowski. I mean, he took over a program, I'm sure you've talked about this a lot, that was really a nothing in the Centennial Conference. And not only built it up to a conference powerhouse, but literally the #1 team in the country right now, right here in Swarthmore. It's incredible. And I think ultimately it's been a great job of him identifying talent, the players that, maybe were Division I level at that Ivy Patriot League, and convincing them, instead of being sort of the last guy on an Ivy bench, come down to the Division III level. You'll get just as good an education here at a Swarthmore, and you get a chance to play. And when you start convincing a few kids like that, and then you get a Cam Wiley, or even before that, the guys he was getting were just better and better every year. Every year, the freshmen, you could see just the little improvements. A Zach Yonder from Conestoga really helped sort of set the tone for them mentality-wise, and they just got better year after year after year. And now when you look at the level of talent, I mean, Vinny D'Angelo from Sun Valley is a tremendous kid. Look at Justin Tucker, who's a 6'6" sophomore, and the way he shoots the ball, some Division I programs could use that. Zach Odell, his talent in the middle, he's arguably a Division I level player at this point. So I think that's what it is Kosmowski has identified those kids who are right there on that fringe of D1, D3, convince them to go D3, and then once you've got a program that's going to Elite Eights and Final Fours and National Championship games, that pitch becomes a little easier to sell.
And what do you see early on this year from the #1 team in the country?
I mean, depth, size, shooting ability, talent. They play defense. They play together. They communicate. I mean, when you're the #1 team in the country, you're not going to have many weaknesses. And you see that when you watch Swarthmore out on the court. I mean, when you look at Odell and Schaefer inside, or some terrific big men, they've got Visconti who can bury shots, and Tucker who can bury shots, and, D'Angelo's great, and Ingram. I mean, they just got every single player that Kosmowski's putting out there on the court is a quality basketball player, and they're doing that 9 or 10 deep. And there's not many programs at Division I that can say we're going 10 quality depth. Some guys would like to say they can go 10 deep with quality.
Oh, yeah.
But, when you're putting out Connor Harkins as your 8th or 9th guy, who's the guy that would be starting for most Division III programs in the area, that's some serious depth, and nobody around can match that.
Josh Verlin here with us, City of Basketball love. So, Josh, I understand that you have a top 25 at the D.
Top 10. We have a top 10. Top 10 for the area. There's only 32 programs in the area, so I think a top 25 would be a lot. What's funny, so this year we're doing this power poll. We're having 15 Division III head coaches and SIDs in the area vote on it, and a few of them have been nice and ranked all 32 for us, although that's not necessary. But yes, we do have a top 10. Swarthmore, obviously the #1 team in the area. A lot of talent. I mean, Muhlenberg's still undefeated. They were number 6 in our latest poll. Gettysburg's still undefeated. They were 10th in our latest poll. They might have taken their first loss at this point. I don't remember yesterday's results. but they were undefeated as of a few days ago. But yes, Gwen and Mercy and York just played a terrific game the other night. York, the number 3 team in the area, went to Gwen and Mercy, took that game by, I think it was 21 was the final margin. There's so much good Division III talent in this area, Bob. I mean, for people who are watching, if you haven't been to, I'm hoping you've been to a Swarthmore game, but if you haven't been to, Arcadia is a good team. Ursinus is a good team. There's so much good basketball in this area, it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So you talk about Vinny D'Angelo. You talk about the guys that come to this level. We talked off air about Daquan Davis for Arcadia here. From whence these folks come, the high school level, that, at least to me, is kind of one of the real bread and butter areas of your website and what you do. And looking forward to seeing you around the pond a little bit at different games this year. What is it that you love about high school hoops?
I think there's just something about sort of the innocence of it. I mean, obviously, nowadays the top high school programs, they're getting attention, they're getting media attention. They're not just like high school kids that are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe somebody's here to write about us. But for a lot of the programs in the area, that's not the case. Most programs aren't a Roman or a Newman or a Westtown. They're a Sun Valley, or even Daquan Davis was the 6th man on Roman Catholic, and people weren't writing about him. And I remember his sophomore year when he was just breaking out for Roman, and I went down to their locker room and I said, I'd like to talk to Daquan, and you could hear from inside the locker room, he goes, they want to talk to me? So I think that's really it. It's shining the light on the kids that don't get that attention. We'll cover a little Villanova, we'll cover a little Temple, and those guys get some national press, but really covering, the Division II, the Division III, the high school kids that don't get that attention, but have such great stories to tell and really, work just as hard as the kids who go on and be pro. I love telling their stories and just sort of giving them some exposure that they deserve.
You've seen a lot of games over the years. Do you have whether it's a D3 game that sticks out to you the most? And then I'm going to ask you about high school in the same capacity. But then also any players that have stood out that have been fun to cover, fun to talk with, fun to learn about their stories.
We could be here for 3 hours with that question.
Yeah, we got about 6 minutes.
There's been so many games over the years, from covering – and I know it was a loss, but covering LaSalle in the Sweet 16 out in Los Angeles was a special experience.
Right.
Covering Big 5 games at the Palestra and interviewing Aaron McKee under the bleachers at the Palestra while there's another Big 5 game going on and it's loud. The Catholic League Championship where Wood won its first Catholic League Championship. The one where Roman beat Newman for the first time. There's so many memorable ones. One of my most memorable games was actually my first year as a website. Newman Goretti was riding a 73-game win streak. Went into LaSalle.
I know where you're going with this.
And LaSalle beat him. Amar Stukes had a phenomenal game. Were you announcing that night? And at the time, I didn't realize. I knew, 73 wins in the Catholic League was a big deal. Now looking back at it, oh my God, 73 wins in the Catholic League. But that was a special night. I think that was one of those first games where I really looked around and was like, wow, Philadelphia high school basketball is special. And there's something special going on. Even though there was 800 people in the gym that night, it really felt like a Super Bowl. It felt like an NBA Game 7. And that really, I've always considered that a special game because it really grabbed me and showed me, this is Philadelphia basketball. But there's, Temple beating Duke, LaSalle beating VCU at home. There's just so many. And players, I hate to single out players because there's just been so many good players and good kids and stars and role players, and I can't pick players because there's just so many of them.
That's fair.
There's so many.
You've seen some good games in this particular building, Centennial Conference Championships, NCAA tournament games. What sticks out to you about a big game here at Tarbell?
I think it's kind of been the evolution, it's a little bit of a quiet atmosphere today. It's over break, but this was sort of like a typical game here 5 or 6 years ago. And then to watch this go from the average crowd and then watching the students show up more and more and more, and then being at those, that Elite 8 game or Sweet 16 game 2 years ago, and it was full and it was loud and had that same feeling again of a, national championship game, of a Catholic League championship at the Palestra where 1,000 people feel like 8 or 10,000 people. That's the biggest takeaway, is just the atmosphere of the games and how that's grown as the program has grown to the point where now if you come to a league game here in the spring, even if it's not maybe a top 25 matchup, it's going to be a packed house. People are going to come. They're excited about this basketball team. They want to see the product on the court. I think that's been the biggest change. Is it's not always easy at Division III level to get people interested in the team regardless of opponent, and I think they've managed to do that here at Swarthmore.
Josh Verlin here with us on the Garnet Sports Network. Tell us one more time where we can find all your work and what to look for this year.
Yeah, I mean, definitely go to www.cityofbasketballlove.com. We're going full Wikipedia model, I should say. We're going full crowd support, so please go to our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/hooplove215. It's $3 a month or $5 a month. Gets you some exclusive behind-the-scenes content, supports the site. We're going to do some merchandise giveaways. We've already had some people win a hoodie. We're going to give away some Under Armour shirts. So that's really the big thing. But yeah, I mean, in terms of what's coming, we got some high school preview stuff coming up this week. Obviously, I'll have some coverage of today's game. I might do a Swarthmore story and an Arcadia story. We've got some other content coming out from some of our freelance staff writers. So, basketball season's here. High school season starts on Friday. Unfortunately, I'm going to be in Dallas for a bat mitzvah. But as soon as I get back from that, it's go. It's go time. So we'll be high school and college, a lot of D3 coverage coming up as well.
Well, we appreciate everything you do. Happy to help any way we can. We'll be spreading the word and following you every step of the way.
Thank you so much, Bob. It's great to be back.
You got it. Josh Verlin, City of Basketball Love. Second half comes up shortly here on the Garnet Sports Network. Second half about to commence here on the Garnet Sports Network. Bob Long, Jacob Brady alongside. Swarthmore leads 44-38 over an upstart Arcadia team 4-2 on the year. And this one should be a good one going into the second half. The Garnet have had contributions in the scoring column from 8 players. On the Arcadia side, it's been a whole lot of Daquan Davis. And hitting some big threes, hitting a bunch of foul shots, creating contact on his way to the hoop and being a real thorn in the side of the Swarthmore defense.
For sure, you really got the sense that Davis heated up as that first half went on, went the first 7 minutes scoreless without a look at the basket, and he really turned it on throughout the second half of that game. Concern for the Garnet with a couple bigs in foul trouble, but Odell and Schaefer out there to start off the second half.
Schaefer inside, and a really good job to beat that zone defense by the Garnet. Now all the way up the floor, Walsh. Jump ball there on the block from Nate Schaefer. Will keep it here with Arcadia.
I think he just waited a little too long there. Tried to get Schaefer off his feet, but he stood firm. Might have been well served there just to try and go up into the contact.
Pendleton glides across the lane, can't get it over the front rim. In transition, here's Ryan Ingram. Nearly a carry there from Ingram, not called. Odell returns to the game here to begin the second half with those 2 personal fouls. Odell puts the ball on the turf. Up, no good. And a rebound down to Davis. Daquan Davis across the timeline and pulls it back. Good transition defense from Swarthmore. Justin Money glides through the lane and is blocked. Nate Schaefer, another block here on the afternoon.
I like that defensive matchup of Visconti on Davis. Visconti, another very athletic guard, has stood toe for toe with Davis so far. When he was out on the floor, it was him guarding him, shutting him down for those first minutes of the first half.
And a good finish underneath from Zach Odell. One power dribble, created some space, backed him back into the court, and gave him a look at the hoop. He caught it right on that baseline. Will Durr at the top of the key looks for help with 9 to shoot. It's Davis. Daquan Davis into traffic and is fouled on his way to the hoop. Colin Shaw picks up the foul with just 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Just the first on Colin Shaw.
If you need a guy to bail you out at the end of the shot clock, got to have the ball in the hands of Daquan Davis. And just going strong to the hoop there, able to draw the contact. 6th and 7th foul shots of the afternoon.
There was a foul disparity in the first half. Swarthmore with 11 team fouls, Arcadia with 5. That's the first of the half on either side. 1 of 2 from the line for Daquan Davis. And now Ryan Ingram across the timeline. Visconti all the way to the hoop. Great finish there. 2-man basketball between Schaefer and Visconti.
Just that give and go right there. Visconti able to use Schaefer to open up a seam and just takes it right along the edge, strong to the basket.
Davis makes one miss. Blocked by Schaefer. Visconti back down the floor. Shaw open for 3. It's good. From end to end, the Garnet are locked in here to start the second half. They lead 53-39.
The thing about Davis's game is I imagine he's not used to seeing these quality defensive bigs that the Garnet have, especially in Schaefer. Played less than half of the first half, and a couple of times now he's come out here and locked down Daquan Davis. And he's just not able to get the looks that he wants with Nate Schaefer on the floor.
Full timeouts here on the floor. We'll take a break. You're watching the Garnet Sports Network, and Swarthmore leads Arcadia 53-39. We want to once again thank Josh Verlin, who was our guest at halftime. City of Basketball Love does a wonderful job covering Division III hoops. all the way up through Division I, all the way through the high school ranks as well. Josh is as good as it gets here in the city of Philadelphia. So happy to have him back doing his work. Bob Long, Jacob Brady here alongside Garnet Sports Network and Arcadia. They had a look there with Walsh. He pulled it back. Steve Pendleton, top of the key, 13 to shoot. Hesitation, dribble drive, and right over the top of Michael Caprice.
It was a good rotation there from Caprice. Was with him step for step, but just a better finish by Pendleton.
D'Angelo, great job on that play from Jacob Walsh. Able to get back into the play defensively. Now Durr inside, mismatch, and he's got it. Somehow D'Angelo got tied up underneath, and that's a height differential of about 7 inches. Back to a 10-point lead here for Swarthmore. Nice closeout there from Davis. D'Angelo pulls up, tough fadeaway. Everything but the finish as it rolled all the way around 360. Arcadia in transition. Inside they go for Durr. Odell, so good defensively, forces the kick out. Pendleton pulls up, good look, in and out. Really good pass to the outside though from Durr, and a great look for Pendleton. Just didn't fall.
See, back-to-back plays there. Guys driving, open themselves up. Good look, and then it's the ball going halfway down the cylinder and rimming back out.
Viscani looks for help. Odell, an open three. No good. Once again, and out of this timeout, it's been a couple minutes of Arcadia getting a few defensive stops, finding their way back in. Durr's wide open. Uses the rim for protection against Caprice, the shot blocker. So now just an 8-point lead for the number 1 team in the country, Swarthmore. Odell pulled it from behind. The foul goes against Jacob Walsh, the junior. Wholesale substitutions on both sides. A total of 6 new players into the game, 4 for Swarthmore, 2 for Arcadia.
We've seen a couple of these sort of strings of quiet from the Garnet 4-minute scoreless drought in the first half. They're going on 2.5 now, perhaps trying to get a little bit of vigor back into their offense, especially with a guy like Harkins out there.
Yeah, they have 4 3-point threats out on the floor. 4 out, 1 in look as Schaefer goes baseline. An incredible move and takes Watkins to the hole.
I mean, why do you need 4 3-point threats when you can just do that?
That is a high percentage look from the senior, an honorable mention preseason All-America candidate. .12 to shoot. Pulling up is Davis. Can't get the shooter's roll, but a rebound here from Patel. They'll reset. Now 15 on the shot clock, under 14 minutes to go in the game. Pendleton hesitation, great look inside, pulled away from Watkins, last touch by Watkins. The strip came from Connor Harkins, and then it went off the knee of Jalen Watkins and out of bounds. Jacob, that's incredible backside help there as the hesitation dribble forced the double team on the ball. Tucker, he drives to the hoop, can't finish, and a man's rebound there from Jalen Watkins. Walsh looked like he wanted to shoot that one. Instead, though, pounded inside. Watkins finishes. Over the top of Schaefer, falling away.
Again, it's great defense from Schaefer there, forcing such a tough shot out of Watkins, but a good finish from him.
Pass comes to the feet of Ingram, so they'll reset. 13 minutes to play. Tucker guarded by Walsh. Tucker blows by, can't finish, but is fouled by Walsh. His second foul in as many minutes.
I don't think Tucker needed to shoot that early there, but felt the contact there, making sure that they would call that in the act of shooting. He had a step there around the edge on Walsh, could have just gone to the basket without the contact.
But he'll shoot 2 here at the line.
Tucker with 7 points now. He's really been a help off the bench, provided some great scoring for the Garnet. Through the first couple games, he was actually leading them in scoring and has definitely matured as a defender from where he was last season.
I think by the time it's all said and done, Justin Tucker is going to be one of the best bigs to ever come through this school. And I know that's saying a lot, but he has just a unique skill set as the shot clock did not start. So we are going to do this thing again, but just the unique skill set, and he'll continue to get bigger and stronger. But I think the combination of that outside in and what you just saw, I mean, he can dribble, drive to the basket, beat guys with that speed. He just has that full suite of basketball services that you could possibly ask for out of a big man.
And he's got a scorer's mentality as well.
Keyshawn Patel. Offensive foul, a hook called against Jalen Watkins. Nice job from George Visconti, who was bodying him up defensively against the larger Watkins. Odell looks for help. Here's Visconti. Man-to-man look defensively for Arcadia. They've switched into and out of zones throughout the second half. Odell contact, can't finish. Watkins picks up the personal. That is the third personal on Watkins.
Great job by Odell going into the contact as well. Again, hesitating down low and getting the contact from Watkins.
Odell no good on the first. One of two for Zach Odell. Swarthmore, a blocking foul called. Zach Odell, if that's on him, which it should be, that's his third. Swarthmore shooting 54% from the field, Arcadia 42. 57% from beyond the arc, and Arcadia at 33. Swarthmore also with an 8 rebound advantage, 25-17. All that to say, Arcadia, the measurables aren't there, but they are hanging in. An 11-point deficit, still 12 minutes to play. Money too strong. Good rebound there from Schaefer, and Money a little slow to get up behind the play. Shaw pulls up at the elbow, a little short. Knocked out of bounds. Last touched by Zach Odell. Arcadia basketball, under 12 minutes to play. Full court look for Swarthmore. Justin Money runs the offense. 16 to shoot for Daquan Davis. Davis, hesitation dribble. Patel, a wild three, in and out. Falling back and off balance, not the look they were hoping for. Visconti short on the pull-up.
Davis has generally been content to let other guys handle the ball when they're out on the floor. That time took it for himself, and Odell just rejected him.
And Ryan Ingram attacks the body of Keyshawn Patel. A huge rejection on the other end, as you mentioned, by Zach Odell. Starts the breakout.
It's interesting to see because Davis is so good at running in transition. So when he gets that opportunity, he's going to keep the ball for himself. But if they get set up in their half court, he's going to try to make things work with some off-ball cutting.
Ingram back iron, no good. And I do wonder, Jacob, to your point, if that changes at all as the game continues onward and each possession starts to mean a little bit more.
Well, I mean, I think that full court press has been disrupting this Arcadia offense because maybe they do want to get Davis bringing it up the court. That's just not a viable option given how the Garnet are pressuring on the inbounds.
I think that's a great point. And they'll have a timeout to think about it here. 30-second timeout on the floor. 11 minutes, 1 second to play. Swarthmore back from a short Thanksgiving break. They had a game on Tuesday evening here against Washington College. Went back, spent the holiday with their families, and came back to campus for a basketball game this afternoon against a pretty good non-conference foe, Arcadia, a team that's going to win a lot of games this year and be a strong force in their conference. And I think they've responded quite well to this one, Jacob. A 12-point lead. They've led by as much as 14. And every time Arcadia's cut it to 7 or 8, there's been a response from this home Swarthmore team.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like the turkey is slowing anybody down still. And it's, as you mentioned, Arcadia, they've had a couple runs, good defensive shifts where forced 2-3 minute scoring droughts out of the Garnet, but they find a way to snap out of that when that lead gets down to single digits.
A balanced attack from Swarthmore as well. 28 bench points here today as opposed to 9 for Arcadia. 6 blocks on the afternoon for the Garnet, mostly thanks to Zach Odell and Nate Schaefer. Swarthmore goes into a zone look as Patel gets into that zone. Good look for Walsh. Can't hit it. Brought down by Zach Odell. Harkins in rhythm. Got it. Connor Harkins for 3. And now the largest lead of the afternoon is 15.
Definitely Harkins' game. 4 3-pointers now on 6 attempts. Breaking out of his slump in a big way.
No good on that one. Brought down, and here comes Ingram. He's got momentum. Odell pulled from behind by Keyshawn Patel. It's an unselfish play that time from Ingram to draw the defender, find Odell, and boy, it's a good time and a good thing that Patel was there because the house was coming down if not. Visconti for 3. Can't get over the front rim. Brought down by Will Durr. Halfway home here in the second half. Davis goes right at Odell. Can't finish. Good rebound by Schaefer on the weak side. Visconti, he'll drive all the way in. He's hit hard by Durr. And he'll shoot 2 at the line.
More or less what Davis was trying to do on the other side, just Zach Odell stayed home defensively. That time Durr making his way into Visconti and putting a very good free throw shooter at the line.
That's the equivalent of if you're a wide receiver going across the middle and making a catch and going up with those hands, knowing you're about to get absolutely drilled. Yep. I mean, that's what he went in there knowing he needed to take some contact, and boy, did he. Tremendous job by George Visconti. Visconti hits them both. Timeout on the floor, 9 minutes, 40 seconds to play. Swarthmore leads 64-47, a full timeout. We'll take it with them. You're watching Swarthmore men's basketball on the Garnet Sports Network. Bob Long, Jacob Brady alongside. A look inside the Garnet huddle as they now break it and come out onto the floor. And Jacob, he made a point in the break there. Having number 33 on the floor is a big deal.
Yeah, he's played basically all of the second half after only playing 7 minutes of the first, thanks to those 2 personal fouls. Scoring hasn't been there for him today, but 2 blocks for Odell, 5 rebounds now, and just a couple of defensive shutdowns of Daquan Davis that don't necessarily appear on the stat sheet, but just having him out there has been such a boon for the Garnet in their rim defense.
A preseason first-team All-America selection. Nate Schaefer gets a block. Still 5 to shoot. Patel launches one, no good. And who else but Zach Odell with that carom. The 2 bigs out there for the Garnet, the seniors that have come up through this program together, Schaefer, Odell, when they're out there together, you can just tell that chemistry, something that's been building for these 4 separate campaigns, and now they're going through their last one together. Odell keeps that pivot foot. Over the shoulder, no good. Good rebound. Schaefer, he'll go right back up with it and finish. Shows his bicep to the home bench on his way back down the floor.
And there's the partnership. If Odell misses, Schaefer there to clean it up. Works vice versa.
19-point lead for Swarthmore. Davis, good skip pass for Walsh, and he got a piece of it. Still 6 on the shot clock. Durr runs right through and scores it. Schaefer was off balance. And a delay of game warning, that is, called against Arcadia for Durr touching that basketball after it went through the hoop. It's a good finish by Durr off the deflection. Zach Odell, I don't know how he gets there and closes out on Walsh that way. That was a great closeout to get that block. But a great job by Durr as well to stay with that play and finish it at the hoop.
Can be demoralizing when a block happens like that, but trick is just to stay with the play.
Patel got the steal, couldn't finish. D'Angelo comes back the other way. Harkins in rhythm. That is his look. He's hit 3 in transition here today. A triple tray that time from Connor Harkins.
So smart play from D'Angelo. Saw that the Garnet had a 5-on-3 there, and then Harkins wide open in transition.
Foul called against Swarthmore. Daquan Davis to the line, shooting 2. Second personal on Vinny D'Angelo. Davis, no good on the first. Darren James checks in, 6'7", senior out of South Brunswick, New Jersey. First we've seen of him today.
Again, it's been a quiet first half of a half for Davis. 0 for 4 from the field in the second here. Only 1 point coming from the charity stripe, and a big part of that due to the presence of Odell on the floor.
Tucker at the top of the key. Shaw with 10 to shoot. They go get right at James, the reserve, guarding Odell inside. That's too easy for the big man, and just tremendous execution of the 4-out, 1-in offense. Go right at Darren James. He's a half step slow on Odell, and the big man with exquisite footwork inside. Patel hits it after going behind the screen. A good screen set by Darren James at the top of the key, and Swat went underneath it. Harkins trying to stay hot, and he does. Has not been the junior's best start to his year as he's had compared to the past, but man, is today the day for Connor Harkins, and it is a wonderful sight for Garnet fans.
It's his game right now. I think this was exactly the kind of game that he needed to get that confidence back. We've known in the past he's gone through some cold stretches, and then he'll break out for a game where he goes, 7 for 10 from beyond the arc, something along those lines. Right on track for it now as he's 6 for 8 from three land.
Tremendous game from Harkins, and he takes a seat. Wholesale substitutions. 7th team foul there on the back cut from Tucker. Foul went against number 10, Jacob Walsh, his third. 1 foul shot coming, plus the bonus if he hits it. Justin Tucker to the stripe. And the Garnet very quickly building a mantra not just of being the number 1 team in the country, but of being a second half team. They did it against TCNJ. They did it against Washington College. They actually trailed going into that half. And here today, a 6-point cushion at the half, and they've just outrun, for lack of a better term, this Arcadia team. They've went 9 deep, getting Odell in the second half. You highlighted it, Jacob, how important that was. And what was a 6-point lead is now a 23-point cushion with 6 minutes to play.
The offense hasn't really been the thing that's changed from first to second half. It was there in the first half. It was there in the first half against TCNJ, not so much against Washington, but it's been there consistently. It's the defense that somehow takes another step. Now, it's sort of Spinal Tap-esque, so to speak. Defense at about a 10 in the first half. They take it to an 11 in the second.
Pendleton missed the first. Here comes the second. 1 of 2 for Steve Pendleton. D'Angelo quickly across the timeline. Floated it up. That was tipped. And the referees don't see it that way. And that looked tipped from our vantage point. Let's see if they huddle up on this one. Yep. Apparently not. So it's Arcadia basketball.
They're saying maybe somebody touched it after the tip?
Perhaps. Maybe that's the call. I don't know who that would have been, and it wasn't Caprice. But Arcadia basketball, they drive right to the hoop. Jalen Watkins can't finish. Got his own rebound and a jump ball. Caprice got his hands in there twice, and the alternate possession gives it to Swarthmore.
Don't have Odell or Schaefer out there on the floor at the moment, but Caprice showing his defensive chops that time. Big game for the freshman.
Visconti gets double teamed in the backcourt. And they are across. D'Angelo, he'll head in, puts it up, and is fouled. A nice shot by Visconti. I thought he was in trouble in the backcourt. Almost anticipating a timeout call, but none came. But a good find up the floor for Vinny D'Angelo. And he does a nice job understanding that he's one of the smaller guys out there on the floor. Makes great use of the jump stop, allowing guys to fly by. And in that case, one flew by. There was a second defender right in the area and able to shoulder some contact on his rise to put that one up. No good on both, but Tucker is actually called for the foul. A swim move sends it the other way. Timeout on the floor, a 30-second timeout. This is the Garnet Sports Network. Broadcast all Swarthmore men's basketball home games, home of the #1 team in the country in the D3 rankings. Bob Long here on play-by-play. Jacob Brady here on color commentary, and I'll defer to my color commentator here because he does a lot more here on campus. The Garnet Sports Network goes well beyond just men's basketball.
Of course, women's basketball as well, soccer. Well, fall sports all finished up at this point. It was men's soccer making a run to the Sweet 16, women's soccer all the way to the second round of the tournament as well. It's been a lot of very good teams here at Swarthmore, teams that we weren't necessarily seeing such good results of out of 5 years ago, a renaissance of sorts. Baseball making it to the NCAA tournament a year ago. Men's lacrosse shaping up to be very good as well. Women's lacrosse, a bubble Centennial Conference tournament team as well. So a lot of exciting action throughout the rest of this 2019-20 school year.
And Jacob, for those of you that don't follow along as closely as Patel misses, he does just about everything here at Swarthmore. He's a renaissance man in himself. You talk about a renaissance of the program. So make sure you're tuning in to all the different Swarthmore action. And more likely than not, you might hear Jacob on the call. 3 shots coming for Keyshawn Patel. 3 at the line coming for him with 5 minutes and 6 seconds left in the game. 3 fouls against Justin Tucker. 6 on the Garnet as a team here in the second half.
The foul situation switched from the first half as it's Arcadia this time who are 1 foul away from sending the Garnet to the double bonus.
Daquan Davis comes back into the game for Arcadia. Up next for the Garnet, a trip to Ursinus, so right down the road in Collegeville. Always a tough matchup for this Swarthmore team. Ursinus beat the Garnet 1 of 3 meetings last year, if I remember correctly. I don't know if they met. Did they meet in the conference tournament?
Don't believe so.
Okay, so 1 of 2 last year for Ursinus. Kevin Small runs a good program there. They have a bunch of seniors, and it's a veteran-laden team.
I want to say it was 94-88 on the road for Ursinus, so another shootout, certainly a possibility.
Caprice, a great offensive rebound, knocked away, and here comes Arcadia the other way. Walsh is gassed. He's slow getting down the floor. Now just coming into your picture. Patel hits the 3 and cuts the deficit to 17. Gets a steal right out. Can't hit the 3, and technical foul has been called. And a technical foul is going to be called for embellishment. So that is a new call here in college basketball. Called a dive on the other end. Bats at the floor, nearly a second technical, and say goodbye. But for the time being, just the technical.
I was under the impression that the first call was supposed to be a warning, much like delay of game. Perhaps there was one earlier in the game that we missed.
And now the head coach has been called for a technical as well, Adam Van Zelst. And you could audibly hear that he said he's never seen that in his life. The reason that he might not have seen that in his life is that it's a new facet of the rules in college basketball. What we can say is that Swarthmore is about to get a lot of foul shots and then the basketball.
That's definitely not the swing that you wanted. If you're Arcadia, they just had A good run there, got the steal on the inbounds. Patel nearly cutting the lead again, and now the Garnet extending it, perhaps back up to 20 right here.
He hits the first two. And then the third.
It's definitely some momentum for Arcadia right there, and that
no doubt.
just shut it all down.
Let's say he gets that foul call or even makes the three. All of a sudden it's a 14-point game. Yes, 4 minutes left, but you have a little bit of juice left here, and now you have your coach with a technical, one of your stars with a technical, and the air let out of the balloon. Shaw lost the ball. Up the floor, it's given away. Not a great pass from Watkins. And Swarthmore should have no reason to pick up the pace. Under 4 minutes to go. Patience here, Odell. Shaw, off a back screen, hits the three. Connor Harkins sets it, and Shaw sets the feet and lets it fly. Watkins, great job to shield the ball. He's fouled by Ryan Ingram. Two at the line coming for Jalen Watkins, a freshman.
Harkins selling a bit too hard out there to try to get the steal, and Watkins had a free path to the basket.
Watkins hits the first. We mentioned Ursinus on the road for Swarthmore on Wednesday. After that, next Saturday right here, 3 o'clock p.m., they take on Gettysburg College. That's a really good Gettysburg team, a team getting better. And as Josh Verlin mentioned, in his top 10 of City of Basketball love at the D3 level. Then the big one, Tuesday, December the 10th, 8 o'clock. Johns Hopkins comes to town up from Baltimore. And they've had a hot start to the year. Caprice, given away. Here's a dribble drive. Watkins puts it up and good, and Jalen Watkins has had a last few minutes that have been quite good. Nate Schaefer, good pass up the floor from D'Angelo, and a finish by the big man.
The passing and the vision, it's all there from D'Angelo today. Has played good minutes out there. See about 20 minutes total, 4 assists for the freshman point guard.
Connor Harkins looks a little bit hurt on the play. Comes to the bench and hope he's all right. Here's a long three. Back iron, no. Backboard, then back iron. And now a foul is called in transition. Called against Davis, 2:40 to play. His second. Double bonus time for the Garnet. Colin Shaw hits the first. We mentioned the next 3 games for Swarthmore. As Nate Schaefer gets a big hand from the crowd here, coming off for perhaps the last time this afternoon. It's a big break from the 10th of December through the 2nd of January when Swarthmore takes on the University of Rochester here at Swarthmore.
Finals come first, that's for sure.
There have been years past where they've taken on Middlebury and York over the course of the break, and this time around, give them the 3 weeks, come back fresh for a few games, 2 of them in the non-league, and then Centennial Conference play recommences on the 9th of January against Muhlenberg. Jacob Walsh to the bench. He had a nice game this afternoon. Peter Fago comes into the game for Swarthmore, replacing Colin Shaw.
Both teams getting their subs in with this one more or less in the bag. 25-point lead for the Garnet.
Watkins continues to pile on some points. He's into double figures with 11 in 12 minutes of action. Daquan Davis leads all Arcadia scores with 15. And a good finish there from DJ Gardner. D'Angelo into traffic, a high floater off the back iron, brought down by Gardner. For Swarthmore, Connor Harkins comes off the bench to lead all scorers with 18 points. 6 of 10 from 3. Rolls around again for Jalen Watkins, and it feels like we've been saying his name a lot in the last 5 minutes or so.
Certainly not letting the Knights go out quietly here.
17-point lead. Fago over the ball screen and now into the hands of number 22, Jared Groff. Fago goes high off the glass and hits it. Good bucket there, and the bench loves it. Foul called. Jared Groff picks it up. Arcadia in the bonus, 1-1 upcoming. Well, when you have 88 points, you're going to have a lot of players with good games, but not often that you see 5 guys in double figures. George Visconti with 13, Colin Shaw with 13, Nate Schaefer had 12, as mentioned, Connor Harkins with 18, and Justin Tucker had 10. Michael Caprice added 7. Peter Fago just put those 2 in. Vinny D'Angelo with 4. Zach Odell with 5. And Ryan Ingram had 4 points. That is a balanced attack.
That's the great thing about being able to go 9 deep today as they were, and the fact that you have such even contributions from your guys coming off the bench. It's Harkins leading the way, of course, Tucker as well with a big game, and then maybe not necessarily showing up completely on the stat sheet, but Vinny D'Angelo, outstanding play today, facilitating the Garnet offense so consistently.
Julian Levin gets through 2 defenders, draws the foul, and will shoot 2 at the line. Levin misses the first. He is 1 for 2 from the field so far this season. Also housekeeping, in the first half, Daquan Davis scored his 1,000th point as a collegiate athlete. So congratulations to Davis for that. Levin in and out on both. Alec White got the rebound and is fouled. Sean Rafferty picks it up.
Once Odell went to the bench, Davis had success in that first half, but just could not get it going in the second team. Pendleton as well. He was the second highest scorer for Arcadia, around 16 a game, but only 3 for 13 from the field, 8 points. Just the rim protection from the Garnet, especially in that second half, giving the Knights some fits.
Alec White, scoreless on the young season, can put himself on the stat sheet. Misses the first. White hits 1 of 2. And he'll check out of the game. In his place, George Corzine a guy who plays 2 sports here at Swarthmore, also on the tennis team.
And a walk-on to this basketball team.
Here's a drive to the hoop. Foul called. Should go against Levin, and it'll send Johan Vincent to the line. In and out for Vincent. Also into the game, T.J. Chapman for Swarthmore and Major Eason.
Chapman a walk-on as well. Shout the guys out who prove their tenacity coming on to this #1 ranked team.
Eason gets through a double team. Eason all the way in, floats it, won't go. Chapman in the area but couldn't bring it down. Shot clock is turned off. A wild shot there, almost trying to avoid the contact, fading away. And now Eason just needs to get it across half court. And the Swarthmore Garnet, a convincing second half effort en route to a 17-point win against Arcadia. They win this one and move to 6-0 on the year, retain their #1 ranking in the D3 rankings. And they'll move on, as mentioned, to go to the road and play Ursinus as they return to Centennial Conference play on Wednesday.
It was the offensive splits about the same between the first and the second half, but the defense, as we've seen consistently this season, taking it up a notch out of the locker room in the second half, limiting the stars of Arcadia. Davis with only 2 points in the second half. Guy like Pendleton with only 8. And just consistently proving their pedigree as the #1 team, not allowing themselves to be slowed down here against a very good Arcadia team. It was a close affair last season on the road in Glendale, Pennsylvania. But this time, the Garnet breaking it open, taking a 25-point lead in the second half, allowing them to get those bench players in. This game was in no doubt down the stretch.
89-72, your final. The offense continues to hum for the Swarthmore Garnet team. And the undefeated, unblemished record remains. My color commentator today, Jacob Brady. Appreciate him being with us. And for Jacob and the rest of our team here at Tarba Pavilion, I am Bob Long saying so long here from Tarba Pavilion. We'll see you next time, which is next Saturday at 3 o'clock p.m. when they take on Gettysburg. Until then, have a great rest of your weekend, a wonderful week, and we'll see you later.